Hello, hi, welcome and thank you for being here. I hope you're having a beautiful day or night. We're gonna do a timeless and collective reading. Whenever this reading finds you, it's the right time. See what resonates, leave what doesn't. And remember that divine inner guidance is in you. Try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound, based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. I was feeling like today we should start with career, money, projects, finance, that kind of stuff, security, prosperity. So let's dive in and see what comes through. This is the money coming from. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What would be helpful for the collective right now to know when it comes to money, finance, career, their path, their purpose, prosperity, please and thank you. I heard switch, so let's switch how I shuffle. What would be helpful for, or maybe you're switching careers or switching how you do something in your career. That one flipped back over. I feel like we should take it, and maybe that is something that is kind of hidden. Let's get another one. What would be helpful for the collective to know? Money coming from. It's funny, I just heard transportation. Transporting something. Let's get one more. What is another message? Maybe you're in. I just thought of something. So, maybe you drive a truck, or it's about how you get to work, or the in-between time, or you are the one that does something in your job where maybe you even have meetings or meet up with people at different locations. Maybe you're expecting a delivery, but it has a bus here. But the first thing I thought of when I looked at that card is like Uber, Lyft, like a cab driver or something like that. And I had a beautiful moment a little while ago with an Uber driver. I usually drive now, but when I lived in Manhattan, I always took cabs, and I was always talking to whoever was driving, asking all kinds of questions. And I guess I haven't changed much. So I had a ride home from an Uber driver and started asking him questions. He was an older gentleman from Italy, and all I know is by the end of the ride, he was telling me about his wife that passed away. I think I opened up about my dad passing away, and by the time he got me home, we were both bawling. Like, we were both crying. We ended up giving each other a hug. He was like, "You were so amazing. I had such a good ride. Thank you. I'm so glad I got to pick you up and bring you home today." And I was like, "You were so amazing. You made my night." And I actually woke up the next day, and there was a text from my friend, and it said like, "We just had your Uber driver, and he said you were the most amazing person he's ever met. And I just want to tell you that I love you and I love him, and you're amazing and he's amazing, and I don't even know what to say." It was so cute. So it was also synchronistic that my friend had the same Uber driver that night. And I guess it's just, no matter what you do, even if it's just where you come across a stranger, whether you're the person driving, or you work in a beauty salon, or you're the one in the back of the cab, you always have that like beautiful chance to open up a conversation, ask someone some like real questions, to show acts of kindness. And you never know where you're going to have that moment that could inspire somebody's day, lift them up, change their week. You could get wisdom from them, or vice versa. And it could just be like a beautiful moment you have with someone, instead of like the person that's sitting in the back, like on their phone. And you never know what opportunity that could have been. I can't believe that I just thought of that now when I told you about my interesting Uber ride home. It was just like, it wasn't just like a ride. It was a beautiful moment. It was a chance. So you always have this beautiful chance. Also, maybe the number 453 is on the bus. Let's see what this one is. Shift. I saw something about you shifting, or maybe it's about shifting gears here, going a different direction, starting to go at a different pace. If you're going one pace and you feel like you're off. So I always see that, like if you're on the highway, you're not going to go in first gear. You're not going to be going, you know, the speed you should be going. But maybe if it's like a leisurely scenic route, you want to go a little slower and enjoy the scenery instead of rushing through something, getting to the end, and it's kind of like you missed the experience. So let's see, let's get one more, because I know everybody does something different for a job. What you're doing, I actually see somebody working on a home project. I want to say like somebody was in an office, but I actually see somebody like sitting on their couch or even on their floor. I see somebody like Indian style on the floor with a bunch of stuff around them, whether that's I see different pieces of paper, but that could have something to do with something creative too, like different tools. I hear stacks. I don't know what that means. Partnership. So maybe it's about working with someone else, or the right partner coming in, or having this exchange of energy no matter what you're doing. Let's see what all these say. They are the tiniest words ever. Let's start with the transporter. Maybe you connect to England, New York, San Francisco, Miami, Chicago. I just heard Sydney. The chord is, or this card, I told you I can't read the chord. Maybe it has to do with the chord or being in harmony. The chord makes me think of like the big rig trucks. Don't they go like the honk honk? Maybe you're getting a honk. Hearing the call, an alarm, something like that. This card is a good indicator that things are starting to move for you rather quickly. So maybe that's why you have to shift gears. Make sure you're in the right gear for the momentum that you're gaining. A career in transportation, like traveling, driving, or shipping could appeal to you. Or you could travel for work. Perhaps you need to take action on some financial matter. So even if this is not like having to actually do with cars or transportation, this is you in the momentum, in the movement. You have to be the one to step on the gas, to, you know, put the key in the ignition to get somewhere here. So maybe it is leaving the house, leaving the couch, leaving the office. It says here, this is what was hidden, or this is what wanted to flip back around. So maybe you put something on hold, or now it's time to really take a look at what you need to shift in your life. It's taking your career in a totally different direction. You know, I did see that highway, and then I saw like the scenic route. So maybe there's a way to get to the same destination differently. And maybe it's something you're gonna see different along the way. I mean, I even see somebody looking at a billboard. I actually saw property. Maybe you see like a house for rent, or a house for sale, or property for sale, something like that. Maybe you even do something that has to do with real estate. But I kind of feel like you weren't looking something up. You just sort of happened to see it by going a different way than you usually do. Have the courage to change course, continue to grow, change, and learn. So you have to be flexible here. You have to be willing to color outside your normal lines, go a different direction you normally wouldn't go or never thought you would. You reach the end of a route where you cannot continue traveling. So if you hit a roadblock, or something wasn't growing anymore, or you felt like it was plateaued and not gaining this momentum, you switching gears is going to get something back on track, or something that was blocking you is because there's a better track that's smoother for you, a different direction. Because sometimes that block feels really annoying when you get to it, but that block is a purpose to redirect you. And then this says you are manifesting a strong and successful partnership. For some of you, this is business. For some of you, this is someone who can help you with something you are doing, your business or your project. It's kind of 2 of Wands energy here. You're shaking hands on something, and it's interesting because I thought of the Law of Attraction tarot, and I actually brought that today. There's this one, and it's just a handshake, so maybe it has to do with a handshake. That could also be love for some of you, the right partnership coming in your life. It says, you can see I'm still not used to this setup. I'm like squatting in the air here. So it says, consider having a partner who can bring the experience you lack. So this is actually working with someone who's really different from you. Maybe totally different background, education, experience, skills, talents. This is someone who's going to bring a totally new perspective and creative. I hear a creative approach. So maybe you are more logical. This person's a little more creative, or maybe it's the other way around. Some of your relationships may be holding you back from success. So extra message with that is, if any of you are partnering up, or you've been partners with someone in any aspect of your life, and you feel like there's never expansion, you've stopped growing, there's a long plateau, there's not a meeting of the minds. You could even have someone who's very rigid in their thinking. Maybe they want to have all the control, or they think that their way is the only way, and you feel like you're not ever heard, or they listen, but then they never follow through with giving something a try, seeing if it works. I'm getting somebody who's kind of stubborn, rigid, set in their ways, unable to be flexible and change. I feel like that might be stalling your progress, your growth, your abundance. And if there's somebody that's not willing to bend, not willing to be flexible, you have to be the one to maybe bend in a different direction, maybe even go on your own for a little bit, because this person is walking on their own. And that maybe soon, or maybe down a different direction, will take you to the right person. I feel like there's somebody here really excited to work with you, like the same enthusiastic approach, or even that you kind of fuel each other's fire together. Like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then even if you're on your own, I feel like you're thinking about this conversation, like, wow, that was a really good idea. How come I never thought of that before? Or I want to ask more questions, see what they think about this. So even if it's not something you're working on together, I still feel like there's this beautiful communication back and forth between you and someone else, where you inspire one another, either independently or together. Maybe both. So let's go to, let's stick to the career for a little bit, but I feel like maybe this is the life and career. Let's just continue and get some more clarity for collective. What else would be helpful on shift, transporter, and partnership? Please and thank you. I feel like we should, it's the same message. It's telling you it's time to move. It's getting your horsepower. You have to be the one to move. You have to be the one to move out of a situation, or towards another situation, or in a different direction. This is you definitely gaining momentum. So if anything was stuck or stalled or stagnant or boring or not working, and outside forces or horses are not helping you in that movement, you need to be the one to start to move. But I also feel like there's going to be some kind of natural progression for some of you, where you're just going to see it's moving all of a sudden everything's moving. So get ready, saddle up. It's going to be a good ride. Don't stop yourself, even if there's roadblocks. You know, if there's a roadblock, I just see like a hurdle. If you have this horse, if before you were, I don't know, now I see like an ATV. If you had the ATV and you couldn't get around that roadblock, now you got a horse that can just jump over that shit. So you're good. You're going to make progress now. You will soon be able to overcome, that's what I just saw, any obstacles in your path. Big leaps forward. Big leap. You're going to take a big leap forward. And you have a lot of progress that is possible. I actually hear probable. I'm even seeing, I'm even getting like a burst of energy during this reading. I was kind of like chill before. So I feel like you're gonna also get this boost, this burst of new energy and excitement. Maybe once you see this other direction or you get a little taste of something. I feel like you just didn't see something before, and once you get a little taste or a little, I don't know, maybe you stick your toe in, but I feel like it's bigger than the toe. I feel like you're gonna dive in. What is one more? Maybe we'll do 3 and we'll make this nice and balanced today. What else would be helpful for the collective shift? Transporter, partnership. I keep seeing oil, like an oil truck, and maybe it has to do with, I got a call earlier that I'm gonna get oil delivered for the heat, but maybe you were waiting for a call, or maybe it's something that will be like a well-oiled machine, or maybe if it's that partnership, it's like oil and water, it just kind of didn't go together. What you doing in there, Rose? Let's see, let's get another, maybe it's about having the right heat, or something's gonna start to like heat up in a good way, warm up. Maybe it's how you warm up to a certain person, or somebody's warming up to you. You do have a green light here. I think there's a song by Lorde called Green Light. I think there's also one by John Legend. I think something about a green light. Even in this one, it says there's a right turn ahead. So I feel like you're gonna turn right, maybe literally. Maybe you're making all the wrong turns before, and now you're deciding to like make the right choice. I feel like for some of you, you've been circling around the block, but it's not the right block. And you know that decision was not really working, but you thought maybe the next time something will look different going around that block. Maybe the next time. And I feel like you've actually, whether I hear bored, but I feel like you're more frustrated. So if that's the case, change that energy around and switch something up. Let's see, another message. And you have a wish come true. So there's something you've been thinking about, you hoped for, you've been waiting for. There is something that you let go here. I do feel like you've been doing something in the meantime while something bigger. I feel like this is something different, a wish come true. Maybe it's your dream job, maybe it's your dream partnership, maybe it's that all the seeds you actually planted finally got out there in the universe, grounded that energy and started sprouting, started growing, started bringing prosperity in your life. Wish come true could be advice or wisdom that comes through a stranger or a person that you trust, information that you've gathered. Your wish is being granted, but it may not come in the way you expected. It's not going to come away down that weird block you kept going around before. It's the different way that you know nothing about yet, but you're going to be really excited on discovering. It's not coming in the way you expected. No worries. It's just what you need. I just keep seeing that right turn. Something's going to feel so right. Maybe you thought it wouldn't work out. Maybe you were doubting yourself or doubting a particular dream, if it could possibly happen. Maybe it was too big. I heard too big for your britches. Maybe something felt too big for your britches. You're going to fit in the dream. There's a dream that's being custom designed for you. Believe in yourself. I actually see here 2 people's dream coming true. I got that in another reading, where it's almost like you and somebody else were wishing for the same thing. So maybe it's coming together, and to get together you recreate or expand your dreams, and they keep coming true with a certain partnership. One more, please and thank you. Oh wow, guys. You got good luck in the career deck. It's not only a wish come true. You have lucky energy on your side, being at the right place at the right time. It's like Wheel of Fortune energy. It is your destiny. You are supposed to have this dream. You are supposed to be at a certain place at a certain time, meeting a certain person. Even if I'm getting in that moment, it felt kind of weird, or you can't understand why this happened now. I get that message big, like, why now is it happening? Maybe you were doing something else. You're working on another project. Now, like, this thing that you were putting energy into, partnership, whatever it is, you have this big desire to do something else, but you put all this energy over here. Maybe there is a way for some of you to do both or merge the two together. But I do feel like for some of you, you are completely going a different direction. It's going to make more and more sense the more you go that direction, because this luck is a blessing from God. This is a blessing from the divine. But you have to reach out and say, yes, thank you for my blessing. I'm going to give that a try, even if it's just stepping up to bat once, taking a couple of steps. If you're not the dive into it all at once kind of person, you want to like stick your toe in. That's okay. The toe is going to feel right. At least get the foot in there, and maybe up to the knee. Eventually you're going to want to dive, dive right in. This is saying that your fortune is going to change. Your fortune is improving, and you will get a lucky break really soon. For some of you, I just saw an actor. Here I even see like that, or a meeting, an interview, something like that. You're going to get the right job, or you're going to get the right role. I'm even seeing for some of you, I don't know why I see an actor now. That's not all of you. That's very specific. But if you even take a role for something that's not like a huge production, it's actually something, I see something kind of small, where you're like hanging out with someone in their living room, doing something on a home computer. I kind of see something that was a home project really taking off. So maybe it's not something you see in the movie theaters, but it gets like 10 billion views on the internet or something like that. And now you're noticed, and now, that gave me goosies. Now more and more opportunities open up to you, but I'm not really seeing like a big, I don't really see like a movie set. I feel like it's something smaller, and maybe it's something that you just needed to be noticed by working in a partnership with somebody else, collaborating or something like that. But that's the, it's like what you needed to be seen, to be noticed, to bring whatever project you had going on, which might be something totally different, to the forefront. Like to the headlines or something like that. Maybe some of you write. Collect nuggets of wisdom. You will need them in the near future. I saw something before about wisdom coming through, even like somebody you meet in a cab, somebody you meet, on the scenic route or off the beaten path. There's something that you're going to be learning about, and it's going to feel special. It's going to feel like it was synchronistically meant for you in your life, and you're like, you have to do something with that beautiful nugget of wisdom. So plant it, do something with it, talk about it. For some of you, it's even a nugget of wisdom you're keeping to yourself. use your discernment with that. You know, because if you have weird energies here or something that's not working, maybe you want to keep this plan to yourself until you know the right person comes in. You know, go your own direction here. Shift gears how you need to. I see that forward movement, and I see like a what is that, like off the highway where you take like a break, fill up your gas, get some food. I just see a diner now. Maybe you have a meeting in a diner. Interesting, because I think I brought those. I do think I brought the place. Ooh, I did that. Is that our card? Do we need this? Strategy. Maybe it's about the game of chess, not checkers. Step-by-step approach. I guess this needed to come through. You need a step-by-step plan of attack to reach your next level. I feel like that attack energy is just you going all in. Like you're, like, no matter how complicated this game is, or how hard you think it is to achieve something, you're believing in your strength. I'm getting you're believing in your mind, but I feel like you do have to expand your plan, or you have to expand your moves, or you have to, like, I see somebody who has one of those books on how to play chess, and there's like all the different moves, but I feel like you're actually going to figure out your own chapter, you know, like a strategy to play that no one else did, but you need to study all those other aspects in order to come up with your own strategy. Get the advice of someone who is already where you want to go. So maybe some of you need to, I mean, that's just an extra message that came through. Do some research in the field you are thinking about. Maybe that's that collaboration. Maybe that person isn't exactly like you. Their strategy is a little different, but maybe they have something, you know, really wise that you can learn from. But I feel like you're not going to cookie cutter do that same strategy and try to recreate something. It's not reinventing the wheel, but I feel like you're going to create somehow your own, I don't know, not, I guess wheel, but I feel like maybe it's that oil on the wheel. Maybe it's the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Maybe it's asking the right questions, because that's really important. You can sit back and observe. Now I see a, you know, like a class in college, something like that. You can sit and watch something online, but maybe you never get to ask the questions that you're thinking of. And maybe nobody in that audience thought of that question. You're going to have a question that's really special. Or maybe you do observe somebody asking a special question. That's your wisdom. But I feel like it has something to do with where you can actually ask that question, whether it's typing it in and somebody can respond, or you're the one that's like, I got a question. Ooh, 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 me. Like, what do you think about this? I'm even getting that you kind of throw somebody for a loop on that question. You actually make somebody think outside the box. I hope that's helpful. The place. I brought the place Oracle. This is kind of a weird deck of cards. I don't always use it. It's usually very specific, but I get interesting messages from this. So let's see. Maybe some of you do something with, I know I'm looking at a chessboard, but I just saw video games. Maybe you do something with video games or coding. I kind of see somebody doing coding. I mean, it could even be something with video games where what is that? People that play video games and they do it online and other people watch that person play the video game and talk. It's people that have careers like that. Maybe it's even somebody you meet. Maybe you just like to, I am seeing that. Maybe some of you meet somebody not really in the field that you were thinking about, but maybe you just on the side like to play video games. Let's just use that as an example. And I think you can do that where you play a video game with somebody else and you talk to each other, either playing on the same team or against each other. And maybe you actually just start a conversation with someone and it doesn't have to do with a video game at all. It has to do with whatever you do in your lives. And maybe that's where this partnership or this communication or wisdom or good luck comes about somehow. Wow, that was really specific. Sometimes the messages that come through are so specific. But I still feel like even when they're specific like that, you have to kind of take it and use that as like an example. You know, maybe you're in a knitting club. So you're all there knitting and you all have that purpose, but you're not going to talk about yarn the whole time. Maybe you end up getting in a real in-depth conversation about psychology or, you know, business or investing or something like that. That's sort of what I see. I feel like there's somebody that has skills deeper than whatever you're doing, but it's that connection of interest that's different that brings you together. I hope that made sense with you guys. All right, let's get a place or two and just see what comes through. What is a place or two? Well, that one. A ship. Maybe some of you do something on a boat, a ship, a yacht, a rowboat, fishing, something by water. This could be you going on a cruise or working on a cruise. If you work on a cruise, you can work for a couple months and save a lot of money because you spend nothing. All you do is save the money. And maybe that's allowing you more space to work on a project for some of you. But this kind of reminds me of the first one. Maybe it has to do with shipping. If you have a store, how you ship your supplies or your product or your art or something like that. Because now you have a transporter and ship. But even though it's a ship, I'm getting shipping is important. Maybe some of you do something that has to do with like eBay. It's about including or not including the shipping price. I feel like that's something that some people look up. Like I'll look up free shipping only and I won't even see the other ones that you're surprised and you think it's $2.99 and you see it's like $49.92 to get it shipped. It's like, whoo, that's the surprise you don't want to have later. I'd rather it be included in the price, but that's just me. This says maritime adventure, nautical journeys, and a sailing vessel. I just heard that pirate's life for me, yo ho, yo ho. Maybe some of you have something to do with not even a ship. I mean, I did see a cruise ship. I had a friend that worked on Disney cruises. But maybe you do something like Disneyland, Disney, I don't know, Hollywood Studios, some kind of like, I see like an amusement park or something like that. Water park, maybe even, I mean, it could be a small hotel, but I see something big. You know, I'm thinking like Atlantis, you know, those big hotels or chains, something like that. Maybe some of you are even being transported or moving to a different location. Maybe some of you have a business and you're having a second business, like starting a chain. Nautical journeys. Let's see. Maybe some of you have something to do with, I want to say like seafood. Maybe you're even a chef. Makes me think of sushi, how fresh it has to be. Wow, I love that today's messages are all over the place. Because that usually means that there's something little that's going to be very specific with a lot of you that just like hits, like, oh, just talking about that. That's what I needed to hear, to know. And then maybe look at the rest of it more in a energetic, you know, viewpoint. But what else would be helpful for the collective today? Please and thank you. Another message. This window. I feel like this always comes through in this. But I do feel like it's a window of opportunity. Maybe you were looking vicariously through the window at what could be, but never opened up the window. It could also be where something was on a window sill, but that makes me think of something that was just still. Like, you know, you gotta look at something beyond the glass, beyond the veil. Maybe I feel like I have a sneeze sneaking up now. I keep sneezing when my heat is on. A framed view. So maybe it is about your strategy, your plan, writing down a business plan, something like that. But I kind of feel like you need to change the frame of something, change how you framed something. Maybe it's no frame at all, so you can expand. Glass portal. So I saw something with you watching something online. Maybe it does have to do with something you see. Maybe it's looking through the glass outside your car, outside the bus, outside the subway. Maybe it's even, I see now that subway advertisement they usually have behind the glass, so maybe it has to do with an advertisement. I don't know why I see cracked glass. I see it getting repaired, but the cracked glass just made me think of stained glass. So maybe it's looking at something not through one particular filter, but different spectrums. Maybe you do stained glass. I'll show you this card. It's really pretty. It also looks like photography for me. Maybe it's getting the right sunlight. Maybe for some of you, if you're not sleeping, it's looking at the light, because the ship, being on the ship reminds me of a hotel. And I think of how in the hotel they have those awesome like blackout curtains, besides the like really comfy bed. But how if you put those curtains, you don't really know what time it is. So maybe you do have to have an alarm. I want to say don't oversleep, but maybe darkness is important for some reason. But then maybe you have to let in the light. I'm even seeing a little bit of feng shui, guys. Wow, messages are really all over the place today. I feel like maybe some of you need to change where your bed is in your room. If you haven't changed, if you can, sometimes rooms are a very weird shape and beds only fit a certain way. But that can actually make you sleep different. Look at where your head is pointing. Maybe look up feng shui, because I can't off the top of my mind remember which direction your head should be facing, but there are certain directions where, depending on where your feet or your head are and how the earth moves and all that, it actually changes how you sleep, how you wake up. And it could be for some of you just getting to see the sun, or looking out the window when you wake up. You know, if you have a beautiful window and it's always behind you and you don't get to look out, maybe it's about seeing something outside the window. It changes your energy. I have a space here, so let's get one more. One more, please and thank you. Yeah, I keep hearing feng shui, guys. I have a bunch of books, but I don't feel like I should do show and tell today. So maybe look up feng shui. Maybe it's office feng shui, your home. Sometimes you just change a couple pieces of furniture around, your entire house feels different. It flows different. I feel like that could make a really big difference for some of you on how you feel productive, or feeling more productive, feeling a better flow with the energy. You know, if you're walking around your house, you're always running into something. That can be frustrating. I feel like a new layout would be helpful. Maybe it's even in your restaurant. Maybe some of you are doing something like that for a job, and you can help others organize, or you know, slightly change how something is laid out. I see like feng shui. Now I see like Chinese zodiacs. Maybe a Chinese zodiac, or learning about Chinese zodiacs is important. Maybe it's astrology even. Mapping something out, since I think of like the ship as mapping. And then I think of like the ship out there in the middle of the ocean. If you don't have all the gadgets and the gizmos, you know, they used to have to do it by the stars and where the sun was. There's one more. Please and thank you. church. I saw something before with stained glass, right? I feel like maybe this needed to come through for some of you to see that stained glass. Maybe some of you are doing something in a church, synagogue, temple, community space. I feel like this is a sanctuary where you are tuning into your spirituality. That could be in your room. I just saw one of those, now if it's not the glass, you know, one of those, like, I don't think I have it in this window, one of those things you can put up on your window for privacy, but it allows light in to come and it makes rainbows all over your room. It's really cool. I think I just dropped something. So maybe it's how you see the light. It's sacred architecture. I just saw all that stuff with the feng shui. So maybe some of you do connect to someone in church. But I feel like this particular card is more about the actual building, the structure, than who's in it. Because, I mean, look at all those I mean, any kind of church, especially like the really old ones. They're so beautifully built. It's all sacred geometry. It's all made in a way where even the sound in a church, you know, especially the ones where there's like, I don't know, I'm thinking like the really old ones. I'm trying to think of a book that I read. I can't think of the name of it. See if it comes through. But there are places you can be in the church where that sound frequency hits you and actually heals. So it's how the sound bounces off of everything and circulates. It's also how the light comes in and how that sacred geometry at a subconscious level, spiritual level, ends up affecting you on a physical level. Spiritual sanctuary. I just thought of a dolmen. I know that's really interesting. It's like the little Flintstone house, and they're really ancient. It makes me think of like Scotland. Maybe you're somewhere where there's a dolmen, or it's about even like a pyramid. The resonance inside a structure like that is so sacred and so special. Maybe you're into ancient architecture, and that's your thing, or that's a rabbit hole you're going down. I see like tiles in a church. I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with the tiles in a church. I was talking to a friend recently about, he's from Italy, and I think he was talking about the Vatican and all the gold that's in the tiles. It's like people stand on it. So maybe it has something to do with gold, or maybe you do tiles. Maybe that's the extra message. It's tiling your bathroom. So, all right, let's continue, because I feel like that one is taking me like into the ether. So maybe it's about meditation, allowing yourself that sacred space to just allow the thoughts, the creativity, the energy to kind of flow through you to ground you. But I'm getting a lot of healing energy with that church card. And I feel like it has to do with maybe opening up your third eye, since that looks like an eye. Color, sound, creativity. And I keep seeing something being built, something physical, an actual house. I heard a studio, a space, something like that. The something pillars, if you know what I'm talking about. I can't believe it's like I actually heard it, book on tape. But I mean, it was like 50 CDs long. The something pillars of the earth. I don't know if you know what that is, but that is the book that I keep thinking of. And it was these monks and people that used to create and make the churches. It was kind of like fiction, nonfiction. It wasn't my favorite book, but I do keep thinking of it. All right, let's do a message from the universe. Wow, I just looked at that at 44. We didn't even do the tarot yet. So let's get a message from the universe. Lately, I'm just letting these messages flow, because when I get into the zone and have all of this flow of energy and messages that come through, usually they do not make sense to me, but I feel like I shouldn't like stop it. I almost am unaware of the time, nor do I remember really the messages when I'm done at all. That's why I always go back. I mean, that's how I learned to get my titles and stuff like that, because I always have the songs, which I don't think any songs came through. Not sure. But I do think of In Your Eyes with the church one, or Take Me to Church. I guess we got two. I could never remember what I said in the readings, so I started to watch them once to just at least write down all of the songs that I said, so I can put them in a playlist. And that's usually where I come up with the title or what it was about. But if I didn't do those notes, I wouldn't know what I said in a reading. All right, let's see. Sometimes holding on does more damage than letting go. So leave behind all that has been weighing you down for, wow. So this is like a burden. This goes back to maybe a partnership, or going around the block so many times, stuck in the box of something you framed to be a certain way, or sticking to a strategy that is no longer working, bottling up this good luck and this blessings that have been gifted to you. You have to pop the cork on something. I just like saw a celebration. I actually see champagne. Maybe it has to do with France. Just thought of the Champagne region of France. So leave behind all that has been weighing you down for so long, and reach for the opportunities that are waiting for you. I promise you, you won't regret it. Some of you have been holding yourself back, keeping yourself bottled up, stuck in the wrong gear, going on the wrong road. I feel like with this church energy, you're getting divine assistance. However it comes in, might not have to do with the building. It's just that maybe it's how you treat your body. I just thought of that, like treating your body like a temple. So maybe some of you are treating your bodies a little bit better, getting healthier. But if there's anything that you're nervous about and you're holding on to it so long, it's actually doing more damage for you. If that has to do with anyone else, it's actually you. I'm actually getting somebody enabling somebody else. That was a really weird message to come through. So if you're, let's say, enabling somebody on, you can see like codependency or something like that, like you always did it for them, and you're afraid to let someone go because maybe they're going to fall down, or maybe they can't handle it on their own. If you are enabling someone to not have growth, you're not doing them any good. Maybe there's something that's a wish come true for them, but until they see that they can do something, and you release the need to control or have to help all the time, somebody's not going to figure that out. Your path is going a different direction than someone else, and if you're holding on to someone else or an old part of you, it is time to step into that new part of you where you're supposed to grow, because there's something that's stagnant and you're doing nobody any justice by staying where something isn't working. And apparently you have wishes coming true, good luck, all of this movement, this energy, this momentum, getting over obstacles that wants to come in, partnerships that are going to work. And you need to be the one to maybe leave a situation, step on the gas, and go a different direction. Maybe for some of you, it's creating boundaries or delegating duties, giving somebody the opportunity to maybe succeed, maybe fail. But I feel like there's something that's somebody else's mission, and now you have a new mission. So, there's a lot of energy today. All right, let's go to the tarot. Let's do the tarot. I did see that. Where is it? I know I got it. Yeah. This is the Law of Attraction Tarot. Now, give me a little grace with this particular tarot deck. I get a little confused on like the court cards on this, and it is one of the decks of cards I have that it just doesn't resonate like in alignment with the typical tarot. So sometimes I get a card and the messages I get really don't feel like it should be on that particular card. So I'm just going to go with what flows through. But I do feel like this Law of Attraction is probably the appropriate deck to use right now. So let's just get a few cards. Law of Attraction, movement of energy, clarity for the collective and church, transporter, good luck, ship, movement, maritime partnership strategy, window, and I just saw this with the doing more damage by holding on and letting go, and I saw somebody just ripping off the band-aid, and then I saw this horse just maybe even riding into the storm. Maybe it's having a really solid conversation here that was like never addressed. It was always sort of, you know, I don't know, I see closing the window of opportunity or shoved under the rug. What else am I getting? Let's just start the tarot. This is a big reading, guys. All right, what is the most helpful grounding message to know right now for the collective on this progress moving forward, this new direction, the turn? This is the 6. Is it the 6? The 3. 3 of the 3 of Wands. So you're planting those seeds. You're feeding the chickens. You're putting in the right seeds you will harvest later. This is where, it's funny because this is where I see like you sent out the message, you sent out the wish, you sent out the prayer, something's coming in. You have to do something productive with yourself in the meantime. You know that wish is coming true. You know this good luck is gonna come in because you've planted the right seeds in your life or in yourself. And this is, it's like both a doing and allowing energy for me. It's buying the ticket, getting to the airport. You got to get on the plane and then have that trip across something, get on the ship to make it to the other side. Don't get stagnant on plans that were made, because this is past the plans and past the booking of the ticket. It's now expanding those plans, leaving the the uncomfortable comfort zone, or even if it was a comfort zone, it's getting out of that zone for a little bit to go on a journey that expands you in a different way. But you have to go on that journey. Upside down, it's packing the suitcase and never getting to the airport. It's a little weird. You just sit there at a packed suitcase and trip over it every day. It's like not part of your feng shui experience now. It's part of almost, it's regretful, or it's wasted worry on something that has to have natural time to process or progress or unfold. It's like that Amazon package. It's coming. It's coming. Absolutely coming. But to sit on the porch for 3 days until it gets here or until tomorrow is kind of like wasting some time, wasting some energy. So clarity on 3 of Wands. Please and thank you. You see this guy? It's like planting the seeds. And you just kind of have to allow nature to take its course, and or if it's a little too dry, spread the straw, water it with the hose, check it every once in a while. Got another ship. Interesting. And this is the 10 of Wands. I saw someone before like taking on a load or trying to do everything on their own, therefore kind of enabling somebody else to maybe do nothing or not believe they could do something on their own. You have the 10 of Wands, which is actually a big ass ship. Even in this deck, you have 2 ships. Maybe you do something with fish, or maybe you actually do something on a ship. Maybe that's quite literal. But this is where somebody's arriving. I saw shipping. It looks like they're shipping containers there. Maybe that's important for some of you. I just saw like a car being transported across the country or overseas or something like that. It looks like all these people are so excited. They're like, oh, woo. And remember I heard that big, I feel like that's maybe now a boat and not a big rig, like, you know, 18-wheeler. I think there's a Pink song called 18-wheeler. I just thought of my ship has sails that are made of silk. Their decks are trimmed in gold and of something in spice. It's a paradise where my ship comes in. I can't remember the name of that song. This is where somebody is taking on a load. This is where somebody has too much stress where they were and needs to let it go. They need to release a stubborn energy that is blocking them. Maybe it's getting to the shore and then you unload everything and now you lighten up your load. There has to be a change here or someone's going to run on empty and burn out. It isn't ending, it's a 10. So it is docking somewhere. It is leaving somewhere. It is releasing the weight of the world you or someone else was feeling. It's somebody taking on all the responsibility. Maybe they had to, but maybe there is a way to change how to still be responsible, but work smarter, not harder. You know, if there is a person that believes they're strong enough to pick up a car and then they want to hold that car, you know, down the road, maybe you need to put the car on a boat. I don't know why I saw somebody picking up a car. I just saw like Superman. Maybe somebody like feels like they're strong enough, kind of like Superman, but maybe Superman has better things to do that would be more helpful for society, the world, him or herself, and that simple task of moving a car, maybe the ship can handle or something else can handle. I feel like there's something more important that needs to be done, and somebody was making something way too important, and that was just making something so heavy. It's such a heavy load here. Clarity on the 10 of Wands. What is lightening up? What else would be helpful here? The Knight of Coins. So this is somebody who, oh my gosh, look at this. I pulled it right here and it does look like a horse. So the Knight of Coins is sometimes annoying because they move at a pace you don't understand. They do stuff behind the scenes when others aren't looking. They might be in the office and they go home and do extra credit. I did see Paris or France before, right? That looks like how Paris looks when you look outside the courtyards of most of the apartments, at least the ones I've been in. They kind of all look like a courtyard, all look the same. So maybe it does have to do with whatever I saw before about a window. What is this person doing on the computer? Something you do on the computer, information you find on the computer. This is somebody who's doing research, getting to work. They have notes on the side. I did say something about the notes I took. But this is usually an earthy sign, but they're not the quickest night. They're not always in 5th gear. They know how to go back down to 1st. They know how to take a break and shut those, you know, curtains and rest. Otherwise, they will run on empty here. But if somebody took, you know, made some plans, they're waiting for something to arrive, but in the meantime, they took on such a heavy workload in that in-between time. I feel like it maybe threw their plans off. I feel like somebody needs to adjust their plans or how they're thinking, the pace that they were doing something, because this is the one that wins the race. This night is the one that gets the job done in the end. It's just, it takes a little longer, but step by step, it's done the right way. If this night is upside down, they can be extremely lazy. Like this person's supposed to be at work and doing, you know, they're supposed to be doing their research, but they're watching like, I don't know, some kind of weird videos the whole time. or playing video games, or doing something they're not supposed to do and they didn't get their work done. Or this is even a person that doesn't get off the couch at all, has all these plans and these notes and then never gets to work on it. It could also be someone who overworks to the point where then they run on empty, and when they need to get to work, they have no energy to do so and lost motivation. It's somebody who can be imbalanced if they don't watch the balance of where they're placing their energy overall in their whole life, because it's Pentacles. So let's get a little clarity. It could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or a Taurus energy. Clarity on the Knight of Pentacles, please and thank you. Tell us more about the Knight. And we have the Sun. I wish I would have said it aloud now. When I put the glasses on, let me show you what it looks like, because you'll see what I see, hopefully. I wanted to say it looks like he's looking at dolphins. I should have said it. That's what I'm learning to do here, to just say the weird stuff that comes in my head and doesn't make any sense. Can you see that? To me, it looked like dolphins swimming around each other on his computer. And now, they got the Sun. Yeah, more water energy. The Sun is shining a light on everything you need. That's doing something where you feel like you're yourself. So maybe it's about being balanced on this new dream, being balanced with even how you end something, being balanced between the movement of how fast or slow you go, what direction you go. Balanced and flexible with having a good strategy, having a plan, but you have to be flexible with that shit. Otherwise, you get stuck in a box. Balanced between being grounded and realistic and spiritual, looking for open windows of opportunity, as well as being able to shut the ones that are not right. Balanced partnerships, feeling like yourself, feeling like you're living your truth, jumping out of this beautiful emotional situation, breaching the surface, bathing in the beautiful sunset here. I also feel like the dolphins laugh. I see communication with dolphins. I also see that they are able to, I am not a dolphin, but I always feel like they can see ahead, a little three-dimensional blueprint of what's ahead of them by their echolocation stuff that goes out there, bounces off of the shipwreck, bounces off of a shark, bounces off of the fishies over there, and kind of sees what's ahead before they get there. So I am getting that you are receiving some kind of blueprint of what's to come. It's sort of just up in the ether, but you're going to run into it being more solid. The Sun is where you didn't have clarity, you're going to get clarity. Where you didn't have a connection, the connection's going to come back. Where you were confused, it's going to make sense. It's an opportunity that you absolutely don't miss. Because if this is in your destiny and this is where you're supposed to be, it's going to keep coming back around, shining like the sun, creating this growth in your soul. This feeling in your spirit, you cannot miss. It's the sun. It's our star. It's there every day. It's going to want to consistently show up in your life until you say, yes, that's meant for me. Thank you. The sun is sometimes just like a cloudy day. It didn't quite work out. You're going to get another chance. I feel like we should end with the sun. I feel like this was the reading. This is so beautiful. It all comes back to your belief. Believing in who you are, who you're supposed to become, what you're growing into, how you're evolving and changing and moving. Pay attention to what you're thinking about, what your wishes are. Are you leaving that open-ended for God to create and bring something even better than maybe you know to come in your life? What are you learning about yourself along this whole path? I feel like you do have to lighten something up or let something go that feels pretty damn heavy though. But once you do that, everything in your life is going to shift. Everything is going to shift in the right direction. It might be big things that come in all of a sudden and grand opportunities that come out of nowhere. But go with the flow of progress as it comes, because this is the one that enjoys each step of the way. It's not just planting this field once. It's all of the seeds of abundance you constantly plant in your life that are going to keep recirculating beautiful gifts from the divine into your world all of the time. I just hear fields of opportunity, but it might not come in the way. I don't know why I see this at the end of the reading. It's almost like, you know, you're planting corn here and I see like sunflowers. It's almost like what you thought you were planting, you might not even get. I feel like the crop that is coming is kind of really different than there. It says don't expect exactly what you were, you know, gonna have. It's gonna be even better. So it's like you might think you're doing this, but you might get something even better. I feel like it will make sense, and it doesn't now. I hope this reading made sense. So we're gonna leave this reading with that. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. I feel so much gratitude to get to be here with you. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye.